Coming up this week, off screen.
We fight with our families.
Do the Foxtrot.
Search a hole in the ground.
Look at what they had.
Wear some Sauvage.
Get some love and lore.
And find Serenity.
All those to come and more off screen.
This is Off Screen. Off Screen. Off Screen. Off Screen. With the latest film news and reviews, this is Off Screen, the Movie Marker radio show and podcast.
Ooh, welcome to Off Screen. I'm Van Cott.
And I'm back, baby.
Hello, Mr. Allen. Welcome back.
Hi.
How was paternity leave? Do you feel paterned?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's
fatherhood? Is that treating you right?
It's good. I think I've turned into Steve Martin from Parenthood, but without white hair. Yeah, it's good. Or I might have turned into either Robin Williams or Billy Crystal from Father's Day.
From Father's Day?
Yeah.
I think you want to be Billy Crystal.
You want to be Billy Crystal.
In that scenario?
Yeah. I can't remember who the actual dad was in that. Cause
do you know I can't, actually?
Isn't the whole thing like one of them is the dad?
I thought neither of them actually was.
Oh, is that the thing? Is that the resolution of it?
Don't they find out in the end that neither of them is?
Did we find out who the dad is?
I don't know anymore.
It's been a long time since the mid-90s.
It's because Billy Crystal had that, and was it the Giant movie, the Andre the Giant movie out
I
at the
loved
same
that.
time.
Yeah.
And I
My Giant,
and I sort of mix elements of them. Anyway, welcome back to Off Screen.
Yeah. Hi.
Good to have you home. We've had some Oscars. That was big this week.
That happened on Sunday. Today is Thursday?
Today's Thursday, yes.
Yeah.
And, so Green Book is the best picture of 2019, or of 2018 really, but of 2019.
This is so weird, because we've not spoken about films for so long.
I know. We've missed more or less the entire awards season together.
So, did you see Green Book?
I did, and I liked it.
I liked it as well.
I liked it a lot.
I saw it, actually, a couple of days before the Oscars. I saw it at a screening that was at 11:30 at night.
Right.
In a completely empty screen.
Wow.
And it was that was great. So I feel like that just added to my enjoyment of the film. I think if it wasn't Viggo Mortensen and Mahershala Ali, it would have been a pile of
if it's Jeff Daniels and Dave Chappelle, different movie.
Different film.
Yeah, although I'd kind of want to pay money to see that movie
Oh,
too.
So would I, yeah. But like a parody version of it. Yeah.
That's the Wayans one. That's the Wayans one with Armie Hammer.
Which you know is going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. He kind of like lives and dies on their relationship, their chemistry, which is really good. But for me, it's not the best film.
No. What did you think was best film, by the way? What did you want for best film?
Either Black Klansman or favourite.
Ah, okay.
And do you know what? I would have been happy with Star Is Born, but it turns out that Hollywood just didn't like Bradley Cooper because he's too handsome.
I think, actually, that was probably one of the last films we reviewed together was A Star Is Born.
Star Is Burns.
Yeah, we reviewed that and Venom together, I think, on our last show together.
Yeah. Wow.
So, that's really come and gone. So it's literally, those films are Oscar winners. Well, Venom isn't, obviously, but Star Is Born is now an Oscar winner in the time since we've last recorded. And was it Spike Lee wasn't very happy about Green Book winning? Is that right?
No. I think Spike Lee would have been fine with any other film winning. Like, I don't think it was just like, I didn't win Best Film. And
I don't think it'd have been if Black Panther won or anything.
Or anywhere else. I think it's just... I mean, we'll talk about this in Podcast Extras, because there's loads to unpack just about Green Book. But I think it's the fact that Green Book and some of the people who told the story of Green Book, that they won Best Picture. But Spike Lee won Best Adapted Screenplay, so... He did, and
deservedly so. I thought it was a very good screenplay.
Yeah.
But...
So we'll unpack it more, because...
we'll save it for the podcast next.
I mean, at the end of the day, Sophie from Peep Show has got an Oscar.
Yeah, how weird is that?
That's the world we're living in now.
Yeah, and also Nicolas Cage is an Oscar-winning Spider-Man now. So just putting that out there. None of us saw that coming.
Yeah.
So that segues nicely into us plugging the podcast edition. So if you want our Oscar chat now, look at everything that happened, just download the latest episode of our extended podcast edition, which basically takes the form of this radio edit you're listening to right now, plus loads of stuff after the end credits, in which this week we shall review the movies Sauvage and Of Love and Law, both of which are actually quite good. So, we're not just saving the rubbish.
And it's nothing
for
to
the
do with Johnny Depp.
Nothing to do, no. But yeah, just we're saving good stuff for the extras.
Okay.
We're not just putting the rubbish aside. Yeah, when we've got some rubbish in the actual show. But we've definitely got some rubbish. Cause
no spoilers as to what that is.
No. I mean, it's a film I've got literally tattooed on my right arm. But yeah, for a different film of the same name. Did you just click?
Yeah, it just clicked.
Okay then. So let's do the first movie of the week then, shall we?
Which is
Fighting with My Family.
I'm really excited about this.
This just seemed like it was going to be a nice little thing, didn't it?
Yes.
It is a nice little thing.
Well, that's good.
It's a nice little...
That's how I describe the Rock.
Yeah. It's a nice little movie concept that has been shot and turned into a nice little movie that just wants to be a nice little movie. And that's very nice.
Yeah. Good for them.
Good for them.
Yeah.
I'm very happy about it.
And he just happens to have the Rock in it.
Happens to have the Rock. Well, not even just the Rock in it. We'll get to it. Yeah. Okay, so it's the story of Saraya Jade Bevis, better known to the world today as the WWE wrestler Paige.
See, I didn't know Paige wasn't even her real name.
No, she goes through many names, and just wait till you find out. I'll tell you. Anyway, so she is part of a family who... This was all chronicled in a documentary called Fighting With My Family back in 2011, 2012.
Wasn't it? It was like a Channel 4 documentary.
I believe it was. It's still available in full on Vimeo, by the way. The director has actually posted it on Vimeo. So she is in a family of wrestlers. Her parents were wrestlers. The dad now runs the World Association of Wrestling out of Norwich. The mom is still an in-the-ring talent. Her brother Zach Zodiac is an in-the-ring talent, and so is she. And she's only, I think, about 17, 18, I think, at the point that the film more or less seems to take shape. They are selected for tryouts at the WWE, the sister and brother. So Saraya and Zach. He's played by Jack Loud and she's played by Florence Pugh. They go along to the tryouts, which are run by Vince Vaughn, And there they have a chance meeting with The Rock to get themselves inspired and learn what it takes to be a wrestler. And, they pick one sibling, but not the other. So Zach is sent home empty-handed. And meanwhile, Saraya goes on to, the next level, the world of fame and fortune. She has to deal with being in a world that's so far removed from everything that she takes comfort in, everything that makes her, that she's now the dedicated outsider without the support network. Meanwhile, Zach has to deal with being the one left behind.
The outcast. Yeah.
Not even that. It's more, he still has his life. He has the life he's built.
Right, yeah.
It's all been in service to the next stage, which he's now been told you simply will never achieve. We have a clip.
Hello?
Am I speaking to Zach and Brittany?
Yeah.
My name is Hutch Morgan. I'm calling from WWE. We were very impressed by your tape. In April, we're bringing SmackDown to the O2 in London, and we'd like both of you to come down and try out for us. Hello?
They'd be very happy to accept.
Good. And we already have a Brittany, so just think of an alternative name.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. I told you. It was a given.
Sorry, what is the WWE?
So it's got an irreverent tone, it's got kind of it's got a balance between what I would describe as pub humour and sweet sincerity. Sweet sincerity in its drama. It is out and out kind of a dramedy. It's, a family-friendly dramedy. You wouldn't have been surprised to see something like this in the 90s. This has got a slightly sharper edge to it, 12A rating, a bit more of the blue for the dads kind of thing. But it's not, it's neither. This is the clever thing about it. It works for both a sort of a bro wrestling crowd and a female empowerment crowd. And to be fair, that's kind of inherent of the story of Paige. This was always going to make for a good movie. When you saw that documentary, of which this kind of tells the same story. I mean, I don't know if you know the background to this is...
A little bit, just from what I've seen in interviews with Stephen Merchant just talking about it. I was aware of the documentary.
Did you get the bit about The Rock, how he encountered it?
Yeah, didn't he stumble on the documentary or something?
in his hotel
Yeah, in his
room
hotel
whilst
room.
filming Furious 6 in London.
In London, right.
Yeah, so just think of the awful things he had to skip past on British TV at that hour to get to that documentary.
I would love that. I would love to be in the room and just watch The Rock, like, just...
What's Gogglebox?
Yeah, exactly. Did you see that Gogglebox was on last week's tonight?
Yeah, I really did. That was the strangest
surreal.
crossover and the bake-off moment. But
Yeah.
So the idea is that The Rock saw this documentary. He had been in the WWE. He had returned to the WWE just as Paige had sort of ascended to the sort of SmackDown phase. So there is some liberty taken with the timeline of the movie, obviously, and there are timeline alterations, but they're kind of.
I guess you've got to do it to make it.
Yeah, to make it for a
film.
contemporary audience rather than setting it in 2010, for instance.
Yeah.
You know, you have to do things like that, and the film's innocuous with it that it's fine. It's good enough about it. It's good natured enough that you just go, I don't really care that The Rock wasn't there at that point, or she's meant to be there for years rather than what feels like 2 weeks. It works because that story of Paige herself is actually just an incredibly intriguing one. The story is quite good. She actually is a persona that does translate well, and she fills this void of sort of unlikely role model. In reality, in the movie, we never quite get to see that stage because the story does stop before you get there. The story kind of runs up to the SmackDown match, you know, the AJ Lee SmackDown match. If you know, I don't know, how much WWE do you know?
Like a little bit. I've got friends that are really into it, but
I'm lower medium spectrum.
I would say, but like my love of it kind of came, to be honest, from playing the PlayStation games.
Really? For me, it's the early 90s.
Well, I had that as well, because my dad, I would watch it with my dad when I was like 4 and 5 and whatever.
Oh, you're the Hacksaw Jim Duggan era.
Yeah. but then when I got a PS2, I was like, oh, I can be these people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I believe they've even introduced Paige in the games now as well. Florence Pugh as Paige is tremendous. I think she's genuinely terrific, both as a critic and as a fan. Yeah. I sat there and watched it, I thought this is a great performance. This academically, she's got great presence. She's got the physicality of it down. I find her credible, believable, and invested in this role.
Can I make a motion that we henceforth refer to her only as Florence Pew Pew?
Yes, I think Florence Pew Pew. Yeah. Definitely. Cool. As a fan, though, as well, as a fan of the real Paige, I do think, wow, okay, I would have actually guessed that they'd at least been cocktail buddies or something during the development of the film. Yeah. However, thanks to Instagram, I know they didn't meet until something like 2 weeks ago.
So like during the press and premiere.
Yeah, during the press tour. That's when she first met Florence Pugh.
It'd be interesting to like see what her take of her was.
The real Paige seems to love it. The family seems to love it. The real Zach Berris does cameo in there. I did notice him.
Oh, that's nice.
He does cameo in there. I didn't particularly spot the parents. And,
the parents are played by
they're played by Nick Frost and Lena Headey, and well, they're perfect.
That's what
they really are.
That's what
Nick Frost has just, I mean, they're not impersonations, but they are perfect representations of the real people.
Yeah.
I mean, the real Soraya, the mum, Julia, sorry, because her wrestling name is Soraya, and she names the daughter Soraya for that reason. The real Julia, for instance, is, I would say, slightly more on the clouds than Lena Headey plays it. But Lena Headey still gets the energy and still gets the sort of tone down. You know, I do know best, but really I'm just as filthy tongued as you. Yeah. You know, and at one point there's a recurring gag with a family catchphrase, for instance, that, you know, does lead to some really big laughs when you get it from the right character at the right moment. Nick Frost, likeable, affable, I think perfect, almost Fred Flintstone-ish representation of the real man whose first name I forget.
Wow. He kind of looks like a guy called Eddie Hall. He was the world's strongest man, I think, last year.
Yes, he does, doesn't he?
Like
because of that mass, but yeah, they play it really well. Like I say, the humour all the way through it's very much what you would expect from Stephen Merchant. It's perhaps not quite as obscene as some of the things cleverly obscene as some of the things that Stephen Merchant can bring out. If you saw that Hello Ladies show that he did the other year,
is that the HBO one?
I think that was the HBO one. But it does have, like I say, a line between pub humour and sweet, sincere dramedy. Jack Loudon's making a fan out of me fast. On the directorial front, it is workmanlike. I didn't really expect much more than that, to be honest, because were you really...
Does it need to be any...
That's it. Did you want Nolan-level craftsman? Did you want a Fincher movie out of the manageress of SmackDown?
Oh, maybe.
Really?
Maybe.
No, I paid to see that movie as well. The manager of SmackDown? Get me Fincher.
Yeah. Get me Trent Reznor to do the music.
Exactly. You can sort of imagine this, but that's, you can imagine that you could have done this movie very easily with David O. Russell and Jennifer Lawrence, and it would have been a Best Picture nominee, but it would have had nowhere near as much sort of self-awareness or fun with itself.
No, well, I found that with, like, when they did Joy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to, like... You know,
the title's a little bit ironic,
isn't it? But yet it was nominated for Best Comedy at Golden Globes.
I know. But yeah, Fighting With My Family, I can't recommend it high enough. I had a great time with it. It's not going to change the world or anything, but it's a really fun, really sweet, really sincere movie. I thoroughly recommend.
With the latest film news and reviews, this is Offscreen, the Movie Marker radio show and podcast.
And we're back, Mr. Allen. So, to where shall we journey next?
I don't know. We just decided, and it's literally just... It's been a long time, hasn't it? Where shall we go? I want you to tell me about a film that I don't know anything about. Give me a review.
How about What They Had? Can I tell you about that?
If you want.
You might have seen this in the run-up to the Oscars. I know you like to see all the Oscar movies.
Yeah, this wasn't an Oscar film.
This wasn't in the end, but it looked for the longest time like it probably was going to be.
What was that Ben Foster? Leave No Trace.
Yeah, kind of like that. You just assumed it was going to be.
Yeah.
But, right, in execution, this actually lands somewhere close to something like August Osage County or something like perhaps a mildly less downbeat Still Alice, that kind of a thing. Right, so this this has been banded around for a few years as a serious one-to-watch script in development. It stars Hilary Swank as a woman going through a separation.
So that's why you got the Oscar thing. You got the Oscar vibe.
Oh no! There's more. So it's got Hilary Swank as a young mother going through a separation who returns home on Christmas Eve with her daughter. Her daughter, is it Taissa Farmiga?
Vera's sister.
Yeah, Vera's sister, Taissa, who just looks like young Vera.
Yeah, she does.
They return home to her small town, I think it's an Illinois small town, on Christmas Eve when her Alzheimer's-stricken mother, played by Blythe Danner, wanders out of the house one night into a blizzard and disappears for several days.
Oh, I did see the trailer for this. I remember this now, yeah.
She returns home where she reunites with her brother, played by Michael Shannon, whose life is a mess. And their father, Robert Forster, who isn't in great physical health himself, but insists on being the sole caretaker.
Robert Forster, Jackie Brown.
Jackie Brown, yeah. He insists on being the sole caretaker for his wife because, basically, as he puts it, she's his life. He exists to look after her. Their love is stronger than anything else she can find elsewhere. He is the ideal candidate to look after her. We have a clip.
Dad?
I told you not to call her. Biddy, it's Christmas. You ought to be home with your husband.
Is she all right?
She's swell. She's fine. Hiya, Squeeze.
Hi, Gramps. You okay?
Yes, thank you. Oh, Nicholas. Damn it, I knew you'd start smoking again with that bar.
Dad, are you all right? Have they checked your blood pressure?
I'm fine.
What'd the doctor say?
He hasn't been in yet.
Then how do you know she's fine?
Because she's fine. Go take a look at her down that hall.
So, debut film from writer-director Elizabeth Chomko. And so the screenplay had been quite an acclaimed screenplay in the last few years, and it had gone through development programs through like film festivals and things like that. And she stood head and shoulders out in the crowds that she was in because it was quite obvious this was a real emerging talent. She then got got greenlit, all-star cast to follow. I mean, Blythe Danner, Robert Forster, Hilary Swank. Like I say, this has just got an Oscar on it, hasn't it? This is that film. This is this year's August Osage County, where once you just get the cast together, you can just write your own Oscar. And
well, yeah, but even that
didn't. I know, but that's the thing. You do look at this film, like just look at the trailer and or hear the concept and sight unseen. You think, well, that's a best screenplay candidate at the very least, kind of thing. I mean, the poster just screams nominated for best screenplay. But the film itself it's a very well-made film. Elizabeth Chomko has got a very good handle on drama. The film, though, does feel a little bit subdued for what you want it to be. For one thing, it positions itself around the relationship between Robert Forster and Blythe Danner, but there's not enough of their love story. We're told, rather than shown, about this great love that holds them together. And, I'd seen the trailer, and I was sort of led to believe that actually was a part of the film. when you actually get into the film, I'd forgotten it by the time I actually saw the film, but then when you actually are in it, you just think, I feel like if they made more of the connection between these two characters, the rest of the drama intrinsically comes together more. The drama feels disconnected because that bond really isn't there. It's a very good movie and everything. It's academically a 3-star film. But once you're in it, you just think, I just wish there was more love between these two. Really sell me on that. Rather than just being verbally reminded every 5 or 10 minutes or so that, oh, this is the love of my life. Really? I've
Hey
not
guys,
seen...
there's this.
Yeah, I've not been seeing you in a scene together for like half an hour. I mean, rather than telling me, maybe... I mean, there's like the smallest thing, like a handhold, something like that. Anything. And there's a couple of little bits like that, but you want them to make a bigger deal of it. You feel like a fluffier version of this might actually have been more successful. Having said that, though, performances, what are you going to get from this crowd?
That's it.
Do you think Michael Shannon could play a sort of screw-up bar owner?
I think Michael Shannon could do anything that anyone else could do, but probably crazier. Crazier eyes.
With a menacing calm.
Yeah.
I mean, Hilary Swank, great. Robert Forster.
I love it when Michael Shannon turns up in a comedy.
Oh, I do.
Just like,
I do.
What?
And Christmas, of course, the best time to get to revisit The Night Before.
Yeah.
When who does he turn up as? And that he's the angel Gabriel or
essentially
Jesus or someone. Or...
He's essentially like the angel Gabriel.
Yeah, great character though.
He's in a film that's on Netflix I've not watched yet. I think it's called Pottersville.
I've heard of it. I've not.
That's the one. It's like a little it's like small town America, and Bigfoot is there. And Michael Shannon is the one who dresses up like Bigfoot.
Oh, nice. I like it.
And I don't know why I've not seen it yet.
Well, so this is not get an Oscar. I think it's worth seeing, but don't expect to be blown away. I mean, it is sort of the stock talky Oscar drama that just didn't happen to make it in this case. But it's a perfectly above average one, to be fair. I wouldn't be surprised to see Elizabeth Chomko turn up and add some gravitas to a fluffy studio pick down the line, though.
At some point, yeah.
I think that's kind of what I think will happen with Elizabeth Chomko from this.
If we get some more work, yeah, I'll say.
But I think there'll be a journeyman-like job that she winds up making herself an overnight star out of.
Like some kind of like rom-com vehicle or something.
That she winds up elevating to something a lot more. I can see that happening.
Yeah.
In that way that John M. Chu had with Crazy Rich Asians.
I was literally just thinking that. Yeah.
Where you think, well, this has all the readings of something quite fluffy, but then you get to it like, oh, actually, this is a lot more. By the way, did you get to see Crazy Rich Asians?
I did, yeah.
Did you like it?
I liked it.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah.
I'm taking that as a win.
Were you expecting me to not to like it?
Were you were down on seeing it, if I remember correctly?
That was just based on the trailer.
Fair.
Like nothing based on what it stood for.
Which sold a fluffy movie?
Yeah. But then we see the film. It is a different film. So I did like it. Yeah, it's made loads of money.
And what have we learned, children? Don't judge films on trailers.
That is it.
That's the lesson to take away here. See every movie, regardless of how good or bad the trailer is.
Yeah. If you go see a film because the trailer is incredible, you're going to be let down.
Which is probably why I still have to go and see X-Men Dark Phoenix. That just looks the worst.
Do you imagine if it's like the Citizen Kane?
No. So, a bit of film news before we get to the top 5. What do you got for me?
Well, we have been talking about the Oscars a little bit. Like I said, we're going to get into more detail later on.
We are.
But I think by now we knew that Rami Malek was going to win Best Actor, and he did.
There was just a mood on the day, wasn't there?
Yeah.
It was just...
It was just like... Yeah.
You looked out the window that morning.
Malek.
Yeah. So that's Malek Day.
But I mean, I was not on board for him, and then I finally ended up watching it, and I was like, yeah, it was good.
Fair.
Yeah.
So what's next for him? That's the question.
Well, he is in final negotiations to be the villain in Bond 25.
Excellent.
Which has got the working title of Shatterhand. Right now.
Not Shatterhand.
Not Shatterhand, which is a much better film and a parody I want to see at some point too.
No. And you just know he'd do it for YouTube as well, don't you?
You would, yeah. Apparently Shatterhand was, that's some kind of like alias, but Blofeld is used.
Oh.
So, yeah, I would rather Blofeld not be involved again.
Maybe that's the twist. The subversion on it was that the name will be taken by a different villain.
Oh, possibly. Yeah, but I'd be up for that.
What I call playing the Gotham card.
Playing the Gotham card.
Yeah. So, shall we crack through the box office top 5 real quick?
Oh, yeah, it's been a while.
Okay, well, let's get on it then.
Number 5.
The Kid Who Would Be King.
which I never got to see.
No, did I? I will watch it. I'll probably watch it as soon as it's on Netflix.
I didn't realise the kid is Andy Serkis'
mini Gollum.
Yeah. Like, okay, obviously talent runs in the family.
He really looks like him as well. Like, once you realise that, once you know who he is, you're like, of course he is. Makes so much sense.
I know. I like the look of it, to be honest, and it has gone down relatively favourably with friends of mine, and it does seem like the kind of Percy Jackson level fantasy that I do enjoy.
It does. It's not set the box office on fire. I think probably a combination of marketing and just competing films out at the time. But yeah, Joe Cornish. I can't believe it's taken this long for Joe Cornish to make another film.
I know. It's been like 5 years, hasn't it? It's 5 years since Attack the Block.
Longer than that, I think. Yeah.
Well, so, did anybody tweet about it, and what did they think of the kid who would?
Have they? I don't know. Let's have a look. Yeah, Maisie Smith Walters. She says, of all the weird Brexit commentary, # the kid who would be king is the weirdest. I'm sure when we'll see that, we'll get that reference and we'll be like, ooh, very astute.
Number 4.
Alita, battle angle.
Did you see this one?
No, not yet. I'll be honest with you. I ain't seen any of these in the top 5.
Oh, you haven't seen any of the ones in the top 5? Okay.
No.
It's the new Ghost in the Shell, basically.
Cool.
Imagine Ghost in the Shell stopped dead to go and do the plot of Rollerball every now and again.
Yeah.
And the goal was the city from Elysium.
It looks like that bit in, what's that, Spielberg... Kubrick one, AI. Yeah, well, like all the robots are like...
Yeah,
like
it
that
has
battery
that.
bit, yeah.
It would like to be AI. What it is Ghost in the Shell.
Ghost in the Shell.
Rollerball.
That's a shame, because it's people we like. And
I can't figure out why. I mean, the special effects are just beyond terrible at times. Some of the Ed Screen robot character is astonishing.
He looks like he's straight from AI.
Oh,
he looks a bit like Gigolo Joe.
Totally has that kind of
parts.
that lack of realism to it.
Yeah,
it just looks terrible. To be honest with you, it's a movie that's really forgettable as well. I came away from it, and I can remember very little about the actual plot now. And every now and again, another bit of story comes to mind. Like, oh God, that happened, didn't it?
Mahershala Ali was it?
Yeah, I forgot Mahershala. Oh, Michelle. I can't remember Michelle Rodriguez being in the film.
I didn't know. Well, it makes sense given who's made it.
Yeah,
but...
she's in there. I can't remember seeing her in there. I saw it 3-4 weeks ago.
What's the name from Beautiful Mind?
Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly. I think she's Christoph Waltz's ex-wife. I think.
Oh.
Don't quote me though, because I don't remember.
But Christoph Waltz is in it.
I think. Look, it was 3 or 4 weeks ago. The film is very, very forgettable. Now, has anyone remembered enough to tweet us?
Yeah, it's just Robert Rodriguez telling us what happens in the film. At D_Riv. A day later, and I'm still thinking about Alita Battle Angel. Presumably trying to think what happened.
Trying to remember what happened.
His final act suffers from trying to do too... Wow, this guy's a critic.
Okay.
From trying to do too much. But that's hardly a unique issue among blockbuster films with eyes on a franchise. The rest of the movie is so thrilling and compelling that it's just stuck with me. So...
Exact opposite of me then.
One of you guys are wrong, and I don't know this guy, so...
But you know me, so you know
I'm
wrong.
siding with you.
That's fair.
Yeah, geographical convenience.
Number 3.
How to Train Your Dragon 3: The Hidden World.
Oh, you haven't seen this one?
I've not seen this. I will.
Should go to one of those parent and baby screenings.
Yeah, we're looking out for them, but every day that they're on, we're working. Well, I'm working, so it's difficult to do.
My sister did that with... I can't remember what film it was now. It might have been...
I thought for a second you'd forgotten what your nephew was called. Did that with... what's his name again?
Yeah.
Tony.
Short, bald thing. What was the short, bald one? What's the short, bald guy's name? Short, bald guy.
Dan DeVito.
But yeah, my sister did Mary Poppins, I think. But so... How to Train Your Dragon 3. Worthy ending to the series. I did have some tears towards the end because, bear in mind they've closed this story off. The storybook is effectively, I mean, literally, because the first one opens with an actual storybook.
I think it does, yeah.
So I think there is a literal close of a storybook to the end of this, and we do get the complete story. This is tying off this legend, and we've got all the animated shows and stuff that take place in between. But I thought really good ending, not as strong a movie as the second one.
I really enjoyed the second
one. But that second one's a real benchmark, isn't that? Is a real that's the Godfather 2 of that series, if we're honest. But you know what I mean? This is not Godfather 3, this is Godfather 1.
Yeah. I saw a thing about Frozen 2, because the trailer for that dropped. And instead of it being Frozen and then number 2, it's Frozen and then like Roman numerals 2. And someone on Twitter was like, it's like Godfather, that, you know, it's going to be a quality film.
I just don't know why it's a superhero movie. Anyway, has anybody tweeted us about...
Yes, at Riva Sanrani, I think, says, no, I'm not crying, you're crying. Hashtag How to Train Your Dragon.
Number 2.
Instant Family, which hopefully I'm going to watch like tonight.
Right.
I'm thinking about it.
No.
I've heard it's good.
I know it's good.
You've seen it?
I saw it. I went in expecting what I was expecting, which is there's a poster across the street on that bus stop of a white background with people leaning. And 2 of those people are, you know, the stars of Bad Neighbours and Daddy's Home. And they've got a Hispanic family. So this is obviously going to be like an adoption or godparent comedy. Then you see the trailer and you go, oh, good Lord, this is going to be terrible. Then you see the movie and you think, what the hell were the marketing department thinking? Because I don't know what movie they were advertising. It sure as hell is not Instant Family. Instant Family is more like an Apatow movie than Daddy's Home.
Right.
And they've marketed Daddy's Home. And you think, okay, I understand that advertising.
Just with it having Marky Mark in.
Yeah. Having that, they've gone for the screwball laughs in the marketing. It just doesn't quite work that way. The movie is a lot more heartfelt, a lot more sincere. And because it is, it's also funnier than it has any right to be. It's a lot better a movie. I have quibbles with it, which is like all, and again, sort of a 90s style family dramedy in that way that Fighting With My Family kind of is. But again, a punch slightly higher. I think it actually is a 12A, and I think it does edge slightly higher on the tonal scale towards adult. But you do come away from it and think, I feel like the characters were all interesting enough that if we'd stuck with the plot of the film being about the bond between the family, about how to connect with the kids and how those relationships work, like, because when it does that stuff, it's great. If it stayed like that, that's enough of a movie for me. That is an Apatow movie. And as Judd Apatow has taught us many times, it's only when you add a plot at the 11th hour that things start to go off the rails. No one needs the bike chase at the end of The 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the film would work if it was
I like that, if only to have a bit of Asia in my film soundtrack.
But this film kind of does the same, and obviously it's a foster parent movie, so if I say that there's a courtroom element, you can sort of vaguely imagine what direction it has to go in. But it's sweet and sincere enough to pull it off. And Mark Wahlberg is likeable enough, kind of playing up, being Dad Mark Wahlberg. He doesn't wake up at 4 a.m, though, to go and work out and pray. It's worth
No, and then whatever. What does he do? He gets frozen for half an hour.
Yeah. Hyperbaric chamber and stuff. Yeah.
Hyperbaric chamber, and then he has steamed broccoli for 6 minutes.
He's playing it on basically the Ted level.
Yeah,
he's playing it as the Ted level.
Has he got the same accents?
Kinda, yeah. She's playing it. Rose Byrne's playing it at the Bad Neighbours level. It's fine.
I really like her in Bad Neighbours.
Isabella Mona, though, is the standout star, the teenage daughter. She's the standout.
She's like the eldest of the kids.
She is. She's our new Dora the Explorer.
Oh, is she?
Yeah. Who, incidentally, also starred with Mark Wahlberg in Transformers The Last Night, because she's the little girl.
Yeah, of course she is. Yeah.
She's the little girl he offensively refers to as J-Lo, and no one batted an eyelid.
No.
But anyhow, has anyone tweeted?
About Yoda?
Yeah. Has anyone tweeted about Instant Family?
Jack says, saw hashtag Instant Family today. I was expecting another average comedy like Daddy's Home. Are you actually Jack? But it was one of the best movies. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. I've not been on mic for a long time. Best movies I've seen recently. Nothing else had me switching from crying to laughing so much in such a short space for years. Go watch it.
Yeah, fair.
It's a bit commanding.
Fair enough. I think he's right, though. I did have a really good time. They're infinitely better than I was led to expect.
Yeah.
But,
Number 1.
The Lego Movie, the second part? Is that the...
That's the official title, Lego Movie 2, the second part.
Subheading. Cool, yeah, the second part.
It's a bit unimaginative, isn't it? After, like, Sharknado.
I quite like it.
Sharknado did it.
I just thought, like, the second piece.
Yeah, second piece would have worked
another
better,
piece,
wouldn't it?
yeah.
Or the next block.
The next block would have been way better.
The next brick.
The next brick.
Oh. Well,
Come on, Denmark, sort it out.
I don't think the Lego Movie 2 is as good as the first movie. I'm just going to say that out there. I just don't think it has quite as strong a balance between its wacky out there plot and the metatextual story it would like to tell. The first movie is regarded as being as brilliant as it is because it has that balance rather perfect. This decidedly does not, and does wander off too heavy-handedly into either direction at completely unexpected times. It's fine, I laughed and I enjoyed it. I wasn't too sold on the idea of this series becoming a musical. That one kind of irks me a little bit. I kind of prefer the way that it was before, where music had a point outside of actually, being used to make points.
So there's loads of songs in this one?
That's only about 3 or 4, but
okay.
You know what I mean?
But more than like the first one?
More than the first one, but they are full-blown stop-the-show,
Numbers.
5-minute musical numbers. Also, the Tiffany Haddish character I just found a bit annoying, to be honest. But, that's just me.
I don't think it's just you.
No?
No.
Yeah.
For a while, I just found myself wanting to like her, because I was like, what am I missing? What am I missing about her?
Yeah, I kind of see what you mean.
And she's got a film coming up with Elizabeth Moss and Melissa McCarthy, and they all play like mob wives.
Oh, I mean, I'm sold on that.
And I think it's set in like the 70s or early 80s or something. But like that sounds really intriguing. But you would get those 3 people together.
Yeah, so I'm intrigued by that. Why not?
We'll see. Twitter, however, what do they say? At Evil Angel 2020. So that's them running for president as well.
Fair.
Oh, so many Democrats. Well, I have a headache from all the crying I did at the hashtag Lego Movie 2. Hashtag worth it. All the Lego movies are so incredible, and I love the messages in each of them. Like and cry every time. Pull yourself together.
With the latest film news and reviews. This is Offscreen, the Movie Marker radio show and podcast.
And we're back, Mr. Allen. So, should we look to the hole in the ground next?
We can. I don't know where it is. Wasn't there a thing in Sheffield years ago called the hole in the ground?
Yes, there was a whole section of the road, like a roundabout, that was sort of like a shopping complex inside.
Yeah.
Yes, very scary shop windows. They used to be in darkened tunnels if you wanted to go to Dixon. Tandy, sorry.
Tandy, that's
you
it.
Tandy, yeah.
Oh.
So, this is the... This is the latest film from, well, actually, the debut film from Lee Cronin, who previously, I think, has just made short films. This is, this stars, I think her name's Sienna Kerslake, who is tremendous in it. There's something of a young Rebecca Hall quality to her. She's a woman trying to, flee and escape from some kind of trauma. She moves to sort of a backwards, more rural kind of a place. But by the way, it's the kind of place that has James Cosmo living in it. That's how rural it is. You know what I mean? Like a place can only be so rural and British.
I made my wife watch Highlander the other day, and of course James Cosmo.
James Cosmo, yeah, of course, James Cosmo. So she moves out there with her young son. She has a terrifying encounter one day, which we'll detail in the clip in a moment. And after that, she starts to have suspicions about who her young child's son may or may not be. Here is a clip of her receiving that information from a creepy ass woman in the middle of the roads.
Excuse me? Can you move off the road, please? Mrs. Brady. Mrs. Brady.
It's not your boy.
So stop me if you've heard anything like that before. I mean, just
A couple of times.
Yeah, it sounds a bit sub-hereditary now, doesn't it? You know, just without physically seeing, like, it just kind of sounds like Hereditary again.
And I want to watch a film again.
I'll tell you something though, Hereditary casts a long shadow over the horror genre. It really does.
Just every A24 trailer since then just seems to be.
This does feel like it would like to be one of those. Definitely has that aspiration to A24, trying to fit into that same kind of, that A24 aesthetic that's out there now.
Yeah.
like this does, you can feel the influence of people like Corin Hardy, for instance, on it, and I'm thinking of like The Hallow rather than The Nun.
Yeah.
You know, just have the influence of something like that, or The Vivitch.
Yeah, who directed The Vivitch?
Do you know, I can't remember who directed The Vivitch offhand. Oh.
Was it Bubba Vince Bubba Vaughn?
It wasn't Vince Vaughn. It wasn't Vincent Gallo either. But no, the whole thing with this is, although it aspires to be that kind of a film, it doesn't really have the substance to get there. It's well enough put together. Like, you can tell, for instance, that Lee Cronin's visual sensibilities, they are there. What's not there, though, is a story. It's just, it doesn't quite work. I mean, he's only the co-writer on it. Doesn't quite ever come together. Does feel ultimately like, we want to hit these markers from these movies, we can string this together. Like, it comes out, it's sort of halfway between The Babadook and Hereditary, really. It kind of fits into that framework. The problem is, those are not things that really work when you combine them. And no matter how much grey colour grading you apply to sort of grey-blue colour grading that they apply, you know, it can look the part all it wants. The problem is it can't play the part.
Yeah, I guess if it's not got that story that's going to carry it, then what's the point?
Exactly. I mean, for one thing, you don't particularly care about the son, and there is this sort of standard horror movie thing about children. You have to care about the children for that to really make sense. I think the only real exception to that is The Omen, because no one really ever cared about Damien, but it's just...
poor Damon. Poor Damien.
Well, Damien, he was a creepy-ass kid, man.
Who grows up to be creepy-ass Sam Neill.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, I mean, Sienna Kerslake, I think, great performance, though. Really great performance.
What else do I know? I feel like I've heard that name.
Yeah, this is the thing. I thought I had, turned out I hadn't, so... I mean, she's in...
Is there a family of Kerslakes?
I don't believe so.
A Kerr River, if you will.
Kerr River. Oh, I see what you did there. No, she's absolutely terrific in it, but unfortunately the film is decidedly not. And, you know, other and better horror movies, and even recent ones, are available. So I would see something there first. In the meanwhile, let's go over to the news really quickly. What have you got for me? Anything of note?
News.
I'm sure someone's joined Dune in the last 7 minutes.
Shall we just go over Dune? Because I bet that's happened since we've...
I can't even remember what the full cast list of Dune is. Should we do our weekly check-in on it? I'm going to come up with a jingle, and we'll just have a weekly check-in on Dune.
Weekly Dune thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let's do it. Right.
The Dune Report.
The Dune Report. Oh.
The Dune Report. We'll make it sound newsy.
Dune Patrol.
Yeah, we'll make it sound newsy, and it'll be the Dune Report.
Who was... Yeah, right, let's get on this properly.
Go on.
The last person I can remember was Josh Brolin. Okay. No, it wasn't. The last person was Javier Bardem. See, I'm already forgetting people.
See, it's hard to keep track, isn't it?
In fact, that's not even the last person. Javier Bardem's not the last person.
Right, okay. No, I think I've got it. The last person...
David
DeSmolchin. Right, should we just go through the list from the beginning?
Let's go through the
list from the beginning. Okay, so I've got Timothée Chalamet as the start.
Yep,
as
he's playing Paul Atreides, yeah.
Then we got Rebecca Ferguson.
Who's playing his mum.
Okay, then we got Dave Bautista.
Yeah.
Then we got Stellan Skarsgård.
Yeah, it's playing Baron.
Glossu Raban and Vladimir Harkin. Oh no, those are the names of the characters. Okay.
I don't think
didn't know. I just thought European actors. I might not know.
They're probably friends with Stellan.
I was just thinking, Harkonnen, that sounds familiar. Oh yes, it's from Dune.
Yeah.
Let's see. Charlotte Rampling, she joined.
Yep.
Oscar Isaac joined. Zendaya. Yeah. Javier Bardem.
Yep.
Josh Brolin. Jason Momoa.
He's the last person.
And David DeSmolchin.
That's who we got so far. That is not finished.
That's not
done.
No, but that's a good cast.
That's insane.
That is. Wow. And this is a 2-part movie as well.
Yep.
Okay, fair play. So tune in next week for the Dune Report.
We know obviously it's based on a book, and then there was another film, and there's a TV show.
6 miniseries.
Yeah, this was all, we know that some of these characters don't last either very long or won't make it to the second part anyway.
Exactly. I mean, it's a sweeping epic. I just think never really been realised, has it?
No, and hopefully now it will be. And yeah, some of these people.
Well, Dune to come next year, I believe. End of next year, I think. Something like 2020.
Yeah, I think it is like the end. It's got a release date, hasn't it?
I think it has got an official release date. Let me just check.
End of next year.
November 20th is the release date next year. So, thank God they dropped that Pierre Morel version, huh? Hey, Peter Berg was offered that. I mean,
Was he actually?
Peter Berg was offered it, and then Pierre Morel, and that was under Paramount. So, God knows. Right, let me talk to you really quickly about Foxtrot then. You may have encountered this at some point because this film is like 2.5, 3 years old. It's one of those movies that got picked up at a festival. It's an Israeli film, got picked up at a festival, and it's been in that limbo period between getting picked up and getting put out. So they're now putting it out. It's out by Curzon, and it is an Israeli drama written and directed by Samuel Moaz. It is the story of a Tel Aviv couple whose son serves in the military. They are told one day that he has been killed in action. And as you would expect, their entire world instantly falls apart because why wouldn't it? And we explore the ramifications this has, the toll it takes on their lives, and meanwhile we also follow a separate story chronicling the son's actual activities in the service, which takes a slightly more proactive emotional response. Now, I'm not going to tell you any more than that because the film is not very subtle about where it's going with those two elements. It is not particularly shy about dropping big whopping hints, and I mean astonishingly whopping hints.
Just
here
it is.
Yeah, just lays it all out there. Lior Ashkenazi, terrific performance in the lead. Thanks to him, I can safely say that when this inevitably gets its English language remake, it will star either Steve Carell or Bryan Cranston. I can say that with a reasonable amount of certainty. I would like to bet money with you now, sir.
Could we go to this William Hill? Go track him down.
I shall track down this.
This might be a naive thing to say. Is there an actual William Hill? Or is he like Mr. Monopoly?
I thought it was a hill that they just called William Hill. It's not named for a landmark. Oh, okay.
I don't know. If anyone knows, let us know.
Yeah, please. Just hit us up, man, at Movie Market. Anyway, so well directed. So Samuel Myers has basically got this wonderful juxtaposition between handheld, more tension-driven stuff and rather more traditional, but actually quite inventively and classically framed visuals. So it looks the part and it plays the part quite well. It's very gripping. It's very interesting. But even if you weren't, sold on the idea of this Israeli family drama, which I do think is very good, it is worth seeing purely for Lior Ashkenazi's performance. It's a great role. It really is. Like I say, Bryan Cranston would eat this up. Like when the inevitable English language remake comes, Bryan Cranston's got this.
Because that's who you get. That's who you got for The Untouchables.
Didn't get to see him in Network when I was in New York. Really wanted to.
No, did they film Network?
I don't know. I hope they did. There's ads for it all over the subway and billboards and everything.
It was in London as well, wasn't it?
Was it?
I hope they did that. Because he won a thingy award.
This will get an inevitable remake, and it deserves to. There you go. I thought it was great.
All right.
With the latest film news and reviews, this is Offscreen, the Movie Marker radio show and podcast.
Back for one last ride, Mr. Allen. And you know what I've got to give you now, don't you?
I don't want it. Keep it.
You're gonna take some Serenity, sir. That's what you're going to take. Oh. Are you ready?
I'll never be ready for this.
Right. So, McConaughey, Hathaway, Hunsu, Clark, director Stephen Knight.
I love Jason Clarke, but I don't think Jason Clarke is a name that you can just say the surname.
Is it like when they tried to put Cox on the King of Thieves poster and everyone was like, who?
Yeah.
I know who Kane and Nine and Spall everyone are, but like who the hell is Cox? Courtney Cox?
Just put Daredevil.
But no. So this is writer-director Stephen Knight, who of course brought us Locke, a film of which I'm very fond.
As am I love it. I do a half-decent impression of Locke.
I love that. The concrete.
I'm talking about concrete.
Such a good movie. I need to watch that again. Yeah. Anyway, so he has written and directed this, which is a neo-noir thriller. I have to be very careful with what I say about this.
Don't give it away, because I will watch it.
Right. If you don't know already, keep it that way. Now, I had this accidentally ruined for me, and then forgot. And then I saw the movie, and then it happened, and I was like, oh, this is that one, isn't it? it's Homer Simpson in the cinema going, oh, I've heard about this movie. It turns out The Secret Code is the same nursery rhyme he sang to his daughter. It's that movie, This was that for me. So Matthew McConaughey is Baker Dill. Baker Dill is an Iraqi...
No one has that name.
All right.
Baker Dill.
Baker Dill. Right. I just want to tell you, right, in fact, just go with it. Yeah, I'm going to take your reactions as natural. Just go with it. Right. Baker Dill is an Iraq war vet who now, a decade or so later, ekes out a living on this remote fishing island called Plymouth, which sort of looks like Mauritius, but also sort of looks like Nicholas Sparks' New England.
But doesn't look like Plymouth.
It doesn't look like
our
British
Plymouth,
yeah. He runs a rickety old fishing boat.
Okay.
He ekes out a living running private fishing trips, doing odd jobs, finding lost cats, and boning the local divorcee, who's played by Diane Lane.
Nice.
Right.
Oh.
And he does all of these things, including boning the local divorcee, purely to fund his true passion, the consumption of rum. Now, whilst he is...
Can I just pause you for a quick second? Is Diane Lane paying McConaughey
Yes.
For
sex, yes.
For sex.
Yes. This is dropped in as if it's a completely natural thing.
Diane Lane doesn't need to pay for that. Diane Lane's she's a
as if
woman.
Diane Lane needs to... Yeah, I know.
Just go off to Rodanthe, or wherever she goes.
Rodanthe, isn't it?
Yeah, or Tuscan Sun.
Yeah, Tuscan Sun.
Yeah.
I'm sure they still let her in at 1600.
Yeah.
But, actually, no, let's not joke about what would happen to Diane Lane in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
No.
But, okay, anyway, so, right. He's doing all this for his consumption of rum, during which he discovers... Bear in mind, this is Matthew McConaughey. So, perma-scowl, bit of a crinkle at the side of the eyes, body glistening from head to toe in that sweat that in no way suggests that the team of 5 have been basting him since morning.
Yeah. Well, we had loads of stuff from when he did Magic Mike.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
He gets a big industrial tub.
Classic McConaughey.
Yeah.
Right. So, his ex-wife, the psychotically blonde Anne Hathaway...
Oh, that's his ex-wife?
Yeah.
Right.
Rocks up to the island with her new husband...
Jason
who's
Clarke.
a bit of a nasty fellow, Jason Clarke. Oh, yeah. A bit into the drinking, bit into the slappy. Okay. And it turns out he's also abusing Baker Dill's son as well.
Played by, we don't...
Some kid, yeah.
Baker Dill's got a son with Anne Hathaway?
With Anne Hathaway, whom he's also having strange visions about. But Anne Hathaway isn't there about the visions. Anne Hathaway is there because of the slappy with the son. So, she offers Baker Dill a cool $10 million to take her new hubby on a private fishing trip, during which he will drink too much, fall overboard, and never be seen or heard from again.
So not kill him, but...
Well, kill him, yeah, but it's going to look
lead to his death.
Well, not so much kill him, so much as make him not be alive anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's a clip.
My husband is joining me here the day after tomorrow. I told him that I would charter a boat for fishing tuna. I want you to take him out on your boat. Let him get drunk. Then drop him in the ocean for the sharks. In return, I will give you $10 million cash.
So I'm going to save you some suspense. It's rubbish. I mean,
I can't wait, bro.
It's rubbish. Now, that's the thing. I know you can't wait, because there is obviously that immediate response to hearing something's rubbish, to which you immediately think, oh, I hope it's so bad it's good. I hope it's The Canyons. But it's not.
You want everything to be the room, don't you, with that?
Yeah, you want everything to be the room. Even The Canyons isn't the room.
Yeah.
And if you've not seen The Canyons, by the way, just hilarious. Just rock on, Lindsay Lohan. Really, just absolutely hilarious. This is not so bad it's good. It's just awful. The problem is, for, let's just say conservatively, the first hour, everybody involved is intentionally making a bad movie. Right, we know it, they know it. It's not particularly visible on the screen that they know it, but...
They know it.
They are making a bad movie. They're doing their best to make a bad movie, and that's kind of the problem. And there are things like certain shots, certain camera movements, certain ways that locations are framed, things like that are very deliberate, very calculated. The way that dialogue is delivered, the way that exposition is unfurled, the way that information is imparted just between one character at just the right moment. Everything is very calculated. The problem is, in order to get away with all that and it be for a bad movie, you have to take that somewhere. And the problem is that when it should be taking that somewhere, what it does instead is make another bad movie.
Okay.
But a different kind of bad movie. And that just doesn't work. I can't really go into much more for spoiler reasons. I will tell you, though, that it is in no way as clever as it thinks it is. In absolutely no way. Like, once we're past initial bad movie and we're down to, here's why you've been watching a bad movie, it doesn't work, it doesn't land, you just kind of roll your eyes and think, well, now I've got more bad movie to watch. It's like that. The cast are fine. The only problem is, we've seen them do actual bad movies and have more fun. So there's no fun, really, to be drawn out of getting the star of Failure to Launch and Bride Wars to star in a bad movie when they've already done that many times and actually enjoyed themselves. Here we have, well, now we're just going to do it and scowl a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, if you know you're going to be doing a bad movie, you might as well go get paid, go have a holiday. And, yeah.
Do you remember the Will Ferrell, Kristen Wiig made-for-TV movie a couple of years ago, the Lifetime movie?
Yeah, the one where they played really straight. And it's funny as a result of that.
That is what this needed to be for its first hour.
Yeah.
And the second half of this needed...
So when the twist happens or something.
When it's all reframed very specifically, it needed to take on a lot more integral a tone. It becomes something that feels like an idiot's version of a Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah.
Or Damon Lindelof's Fantasy Island. Or...
Aren't we making a Fantasy Island?
They are making a Fantasy Island, yes, they are, with Micah Pena.
Yeah.
Or Forgetting Sarah Marshall on the 13th Floor. There's loads of stuff you could compare this to.
So have like a frame of reference.
Yeah, everything you can compare this to, though, will invariably be better than the actual film itself.
Yeah.
It's just not in any way interesting or enjoyable enough to get away with what it's trying to. Points to it for leaning in so hard as it does.
Leaning into the skid.
Yeah, leaning into it, fine. You know, you get a point for that, but it will be literally the only point this gets other than basic competency. It just simply does not work. So, yeah, I mean...
So it's Film of the Week.
It's clearly Film of the Week, isn't it? No, I don't know. I mean, Film of the Week this week, I'm going to have to go with Fighting With My Family, which I just thought was a tremendously enjoyable and engaging film.
It sounds like it's got bags of charm.
It has got bags of charm. I can't recommend it highly enough. By the way, the Dwayne Johnson element is noticeably dialed down compared to what the marketing would have you believe.
He's on a bus.
Yeah.
The tagline is genius, so you know that Stephen Merchant came up with it.
Go on.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place.
No, that's the one, yes.
That's it.
I will tell you one thing, though, because this came up briefly earlier, but the name Paige, which I think is the fourth name she goes by, do you know where it comes from? Because I didn't until I saw the film.
No.
Charmed.
Oh.
Comes from Rose McGowan's character in Charmed. And you know this because she actually has the poster, a Charmed Rose McGowan poster in her bedroom next to all the wrestlers that she has. I didn't know that's where it had come from. I honestly thought it was just like that scene in Showgirls where Alan Rafkin or whoever it is up on the stage and starts calling them Pollyanna and giving them random names. I thought the WWE just did that, but with less nudity.
Was just like... Stacey, Paige. Yeah.
Come back in a year. But alas, it's not. So, so let's see what we've got coming up next week off screen. So, Everybody Knows is out next week. Not an adaptation of the Landing Code song.
Good reference, good point.
Yeah, I like it.
Javier Bardem and Penelope Cruz.
Penelope Cruz. Are they the real life couple?
Yeah, they're
they
married. They've got kids. They're perfectly adorable.
They are. Who is Monica Bellucci married? Is that Vincent Cassell? Because I get the two.
Yeah, because didn't we find it out when we were doing a deep dive on Vincent Cassell?
We've also got Maiden next week, which is the sailing movie. We've got Rosie. We've got Kindergarten Teacher with Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Oh, I really want to see that.
Documentary Scotch, The Golden Dram is next week. H is for Harry next week.
Nice.
The BAFTA buzzy Ray and Liz. I believe is that an animated film?
I think it is, yeah.
That's out next week as well. And of course, find out what makes... Is it her? Is it Hero?
Her a hero. Shazam.
Exactly, yes. Miss Shazam. Which is funny on an entirely other level if you stop and think about it.
Yeah.
But so Captain Marvel is next week as well. Brie Larson finally gets that gig she's been waiting for since she won that Oscar. What was it, 3-4 years ago now?
Something like that.
Exactly, because Glass House didn't work out. Kong was not exactly what we'll call a meaty role.
No. Well, like, wasn't she cast to Captain Marvel pretty much like
Pretty
just
much
after?
like the day after. Yeah.
She got it, and then they were like, "We've got a plan.
We've got a plan. Don't worry.
Hang
yeah.
around."
So all those to come and more next week off screen. In the meanwhile, this has been a Candy Store production of a Movie Marker. I've been Van Connor.
I've had a sore throat, but I've also been Case Allen.
And we shall return.
Just show me the way to get out of here, and I'll be on my way.
You've been listening to Offscreen. For more movie news, reviews, and more, visit moviemarker.co.uk.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap.
Podcast extra bits. Bits of extra podcast, extras for your podcast.
Is it really the extra? I mean, it's not really It is. It's extras for the podcast, isn't it?
It's not as snappy.
Because we can't technically call the rest of the show a podcast.
A podcast.
But yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, podcast add-on.
Addendum.
Podcast addendum.
Off-screen addendum. Further off-screen.
Further off. Yeah,
even further off-screen. Yeah. So we got to talk about them Oscars. So can I get a list of the...
I realised, like, I'm going to head on. So Glenn Close losing.
Yeah.
I can say what I wanted to say.
Go on.
She was Glenn Close, but not close enough.
I would have gone for no cigar. Glenn Close, but no cigar.
I've been mixing it up.
I really feel like if Glenn Close had just been pre-warned, she could have actually taken a cigar to the Oscars.
Just been like,
Glenn Close, no cigar.
Give him an Oscar for that.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was... I don't know, it wasn't a surprising Oscars, I wouldn't say at all. I mean, there were one or two minor surprises.
Oh, no, I think there was two big surprises.
Okay, let's go then. So let's talk about Best Film, obviously, Green Book. I think early on that was a sort of safe winner, like that and A Star Is Born, I think, was safe winners early on for Best Picture, before the buzz really started.
I feel like we've been following a different Oscar race.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I thought the buzz around Roma didn't start until about midway through awards season. Like, it was nominated for a lot.
You're right with that. Star Is Born, when it came out, because obviously it was like end of September.
Oh, I mean, going into awards season, it did seem like A Star Is Born and Green Book, they were going to be the big boys.
And it happened for a while, but I don't think that Green Book really got that level until it won the PGA. And it won, like, People's Choice as well. But there's been Oscar winners there's been People's Choice winners and that have won but have not gone on to do Best Picture.
No.
And that kind of seemed to be one of those, like The Big Short.
So I think these are actually possibly in the order on which I'm reading off the Guardian site.
Okay.
I think these are in the order in which they were announced.
Yes, the first one was Supporting Actress.
That's it. Okay, so should we do them in the order they were announced?
Yeah.
Okay, so Best Supporting Actress, Regina King for If Beale Street Could Talk.
That was a given.
What did you think of Beale Street?
I've not seen it. I really want to see it.
Right.
I've not had an opportunity to see it. She seems like the linchpin of the whole thing.
She is. She's pretty much, yeah. It's pretty much her holding the whole thing together.
Yeah.
Biggest sort of larger-than-life character in the film, though. But, I thought Kiki Lane, might have had a chance at Best Actress for this in another year. But I was surprised she didn't.
It depends with, like, the buzz, doesn't it, and who they're going to, like, put all their, like, focus on for the campaign. Like, because with The Wife, obviously, it was only Glenn Close, but, like, Jonathan Pryce is really good, and if they'd have pushed him, he could have got, like, a supporting actor.
And as always, you can always give Christian Slater an awards nom.
Well,
won't hurt him.
Yeah.
Won't hurt him at all.
He's in the film for about 6 minutes, but yeah.
Hey, I'll see you at Judi Dench, sir. I'll see you
That's
at Judi Dench.
That's a good point, yeah.
Right.
She had 8 minutes.
Right, Best Supporting Actress, though. I mean, I honestly saw that going to either Rachel Weisz or Emma Stone. I thought because Rachel Weisz had the BAFTA, they might just wheel it out for Emma Stone for the Oscars.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't see Regina King getting it. I thought it was a two-horse race between both actresses in supporting for the film.
I had Regina King because she won pretty much all the, like, prognosticators. She won the SAG Award, she won the Independent Spirit Award, and I thought, like, Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz would just kind of cancel each other out.
And that makes sense. Well, they seem to have, don't they?
Yeah. I have slight issue with the way that they went with the favourite, because for me, Emma Stone is the lead.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, I think Rachel Weisz is the lead.
That is
interesting.
That's really interesting.
Okay, that's next set of
I feel like you see it all through. What's Emma Stone? Is
Abigail Masham, isn't it?
You see it like you start with her, and I feel like it's her rising up. So I saw it more through her point of view. I'm fine with Olivia Colman going through as best actress and winning because it's Olivia Colman.
So speaking of, we should move it. So best makeup and hair, that was between Border, Mary Queen of Scots, and Vice. Did anybody not see Vice getting that?
That's it. I really liked Vice. I watched it day of Oscars.
I liked it. I didn't think it was groundbreaking or anything. I thought it was a perfectly fun Adam McKay movie.
I thought there was 3 or 4 moments where I was like, this is genuinely really cool. Like the bit with the credits.
Yeah, that's a great.
I loved that.
There were great individual gags, I thought.
Yeah, like in Big Short, same thing. And then when there's the gut of that restaurant and Alfred Molina's where I loved that bit so much. And he was like, and you can do pretty much whatever the F you want.
Best documentary went to Free Solo.
Yeah, I had that as well.
Now, I thought the documentary category this year was a bit weak, to be honest.
There's been a lot of kind of conversation about the documentary category. Just over the last few years, there's been like some massive snubs. Like, what was it? Was Jane last year or the year before?
I think it was last year, Jane.
Jane was like universally adored. And
well,
and then it wasn't even nominated.
I look at how weak a category it is. I just even think, like, regardless of whether where's Mr. Rogers.
There's no Three Identical Strangers.
Yes, there's no Three Identical Strangers. There's no Won't You Be My Neighbour.
Yeah.
And these are films that offer you something in a documentary. I mean, I'm not surprised Free Solo won because it's the only one out of that bunch, I think, that stands head and shoulders above the rest in terms of actually doing something different, showing you something different. And something like Three Identical Strangers, which is such a bonkers story.
Yeah.
Or what was the other film we were just saying, literally out loud?
Won't You Be My Neighbour?
Won't You Be My Neighbour, which again is such a moving and emotional documentary. These are things that, they elevate the game in the same way that Blackfish did all those years ago.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, not surprised. Ruthie Carter, best costume design.
Yeah, I had that for Black Panther.
Of course you did. That was an easy win, wasn't it? It was a good, solid win.
Not so much. It was like that and The Favourite.
But I think with The Favourite, there was the issue that Sandy Powell was nominated for 2 films, for one thing. There was the issue
cancelled it.
Yeah, but there was the issue as well that Favourite was a lot more of a traditional, by the numbers period piece, whereas Black Panther was a lot more inventive, a lot more creative.
Yeah.
In terms of simply utilising imagination, I think it's hard to top Black Panther for that.
True, but then you do look at the form that like those kind of period films have with costume design, and generally it's difficult to bank against those. But I did put Black Panther, so...
When Merchant Ivory just owned the awards.
What?
When Merchant Ivory just owned awards.
Yeah.
This was a funny one. Best editing went to Bohemian Rhapsody and Bryan Singer's mate, Johnny Ottman. So that was a bit awkward.
Yeah, people were mad.
Also...
Yeah, I had Vice down for that because the editing is so much better.
I think I settled on Black Klansman in the end, but I was fine with either Black Klansman or Vice. Bohemian Rhapsody's terribly edited.
Yeah, there's a viral clip that's gone round.
I've seen it, yeah.
But me... Littlefinger from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Aidan Gillen, yeah. And yeah, it's not good.
It's not good. Bohemian Rhapsody deserves best editing in the same way that Black Panther deserved the BAFTA for best visual effects. It just doesn't make any sense. And you've clearly only given it to that because you sat there and thought, I don't know what this category is, so I'll just vote for the film I like.
Yeah.
Which, best cinematography... best production design, Black Panther.
Yeah, I had Favourite down, but Black Panther's amazing.
Favourite as well I had for production design. Thing. Oh no, First Man I would have been happy with as well, actually. I thought the production design of First Man was top notch. But
nobody saw it.
Yeah, nobody saw it. Yeah,
it's a wonder that it.
Those of us who did see it were too depressed to really revel in it much afterwards. So, best cinematography, Roma, Alfonso Cuarón.
Yeah, because it's fine. Because it's beautiful.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, makes sense.
I had to stop watching it the first time because I was generally really ill, and the camera's constantly just turning. Yeah. Have you seen it now?
I have now. Yes.
Yeah. Did you like it?
I did. I didn't. I didn't think it was this unmissable thing that I was going to be talking about for the rest of my life or anything.
You shouldn't have any illusions that it would be, but
no,
I think it's really great.
I'll be honest with you, I may have just sat there afterwards in silence for a moment to myself thinking, shit, this is going to be like The Artist all over again, isn't it? Where we're just never going to talk about the movie again after it wins Best Picture. But, alas, it didn't happen, so...
All right.
Okay, I know.
We'll save this discussion until we get to.
I know I'm
Best
in a
Picture.
minority. I know Kevin Marr from The Times, and he's just the most out there contrarian you've ever met.
Yeah.
And like the guy who really hates A Star Is Born.
Right.
You know, who champions the death and burning of A Star Is Born.
Don't say it too loud, it'll get punched by Sean Penn.
Exactly. Best sound editing, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Did I got this and over one? No, I put First Man down for sound editing because someone explained to me what the difference is between editing and mixing.
Yeah, no one knows. So
editing is obviously the editing part of it, but it's also like the creation of sounds. Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
So for that, I was like, First Man.
As Johnny Hearn told us on Oscar night, sound editing and sound mixing are categories that, you know, they're another one of those categories like editing, where the people who are voting for these things may not in any chance actually know what the specifics of that category are, and so it becomes a popular vote more than anything else.
Yeah.
You know, hence Bohemian Rhapsody winning both of them, because in the minds of anyone voting, it's just, it's a sound thing. That's the music movie. Do that.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, it's a sound movie. There's literally a movie called A Quiet Place. Maybe that could have won.
Yeah.
You know.
Possibly. Well, there's a lot of categories that A Quiet Place could have gone for, but
yes,
never mind.
Best foreign language film, Roma.
I put down Cold War because I thought that loads of people would go for Picture.
Yeah, we had the same idea. I thought Cold War would win this, Roma would win Best Picture.
Yeah.
There you go. So,
and I would imagine that, like, if you could see what the ranking was, the Cold War would be second.
I like that I just take a piece of you with me when you're not around for long periods of time. So channel my inner case. Best supporting
Oscar pundit.
actor that we absolutely predicted.
Best supporting Mahershala.
Yeah, best supporting lead actor in a movie, Mahershala Ali.
And just based on that, we should have known that Green Book was going to win Picture, because that's what happens.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Make a film, make him an amazing supporting actor role. Yeah. You're going to win 3 Oscars. One of them is going to be Best Picture. The other one's going to be Screenplay. It's exactly what happened in Moonlight.
Live action short. Didn't see it. Apparently, it was something called Skin.
No.
Best animated short, Bow.
Yeah, I love Bow.
I loved Bow.
I loved Bow so much.
Best documentary short, period, end of sentence.
I got that.
I never seen it.
It's on Netflix.
Is it?
It's on Netflix. I need to tell you something about that. So one of the... They've not said who it was, but it was one of the Academy voters in the writers' branch. And they've not said who it is, because you get a bloody lynching. He said something like, I saw Period, but I'm not going to vote for it because it's about periods and they're icky.
What a dick. Okay, so best visual effects. Went to First Man.
Yeah, interesting.
I mean, one way of defining it,
yeah.
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Then again, BAFTA, best visual effects, Black Panther.
Yeah, that suit's awesome. Leave it alone.
So, Ready Player One exists, right? Was nominated for an Oscar for visual effects. Gave us The Shining, a T-Rex, King Kong, the DeLorean, and an enormous Jack Slater.
Yeah, but hopefully the voters will distract the fact that it is a terrible film.
Who gives a shit? You're nominated for visual effects.
Oh yeah,
not screenplay.
Oh yeah, with podcast extras.
Yeah,
fucking terrible.
Yeah.
No, that Shining bit is awesome. Maybe just for that bit.
Yeah, there's so much in the way of the visual level to it.
I put down Infinity War just because of it's. The biggest film.
Yeah, I actually banked on Infinity War winning, to be honest. That was when I did my predictions on the night, it was.
But then again, for some reason, superfilms never do well in that category.
I can't figure that out.
Yeah, and if it's a space film, that's probably going to win. It's weird.
I just don't get it. So, best original screenplay, Green Book. Okay.
I had The Favourite down.
I had The Favourite.
I would have preferred The Favourite.
I would have.
Yeah, like I said, I like Green Book. I want to watch it again. I can see all the problems with it.
You can see the problems, but it's just that, okay, I can see those problems are there, but they are not stopping me enjoying this.
Yeah, because I'm looking at Viggo and Mahershala and I'm having a great time.
That's it. I'm watching two charismatic actors at the top of their game, who obviously, like you say, share great chemistry.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Right. So, best adapted screenplay, Black Klansman. I'm just looking at the time.
Everyone saw that. Yeah, sorry.
Black Klansman's great. Yay for Spike Lee.
Yeah.
Finally.
About time.
Did he do Brooklyn's in the House again for this one? Because he did that at BAFTAs, didn't he?
Yeah. He definitely shouted Brooklyn. There was a bit where Barbra Streisand was there. And he shouted Brooklyn.
Nice. Yeah. Best original score. Did you get this one?
I did.
I think I had If Beale Street Could Talk to win.
Right.
Wanted Black Panther, bet on If Beale Street Could Talk, and then Black Panther won.
Given the work that he put in for the score for Black Panther, I'm really happy with it. Because he like travelled to Africa and like met like African musicians.
He did.
And stuff.
You told me that. Actually.
Yeah. Like there's a guy that's like shouting Killmonger. Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Best original song. So, easiest money you ever made, or
Are they together in real life? That's the question this week, isn't it?
really? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you not see that look at the end of the performance?
Well, I mean,
I've
got
never
me to the Oscars. I'd be very grateful.
When I saw Cassie the next day, I was like, I'll be honest, I've never looked at you in that way, and I love you, but I don't think I've ever looked at anything the way that I looked at each other.
I mean, they looked at each other like I look at a meatball sub.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, Shallow at Star Is Born. That one. There. Best actor.
Rami Malek.
Rami Malek. So I'm just going to play the Egyptian card for a moment because on a mainstream international level, Egyptians never do anything cool.
No,
not anymore.
cool.
Not for like 2,000 years.
Yeah, and he also like mentioned that as well in his speech.
Yeah.
So that was very cool. Yeah, like I said, I wasn't really looking forward to watching Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't think it's a particularly good film, but
He's fine in it, isn't he?
He's really fine in it. Yeah.
Best actress then, Olivia Colman for The Favourite.
I just had like a really like warm feeling in my heart when that happened.
That was another one where I think I felt on the day, like it just feels like in the air that Olivia Colman's going to win that today.
Yeah.
Best director then, Alfonso Cuarón.
He's got a lot of Oscars, hasn't
He has a bit.
Yeah.
And then of course, Best Picture, which as we know went to Green Book.
Went to some guy that flashed his cock at Cameron Diaz and someone else that said incorrectly that Muslims were celebrating 9/11 in New Jersey.
Yeah.
So there's that. Yeah, I've got some film news about that.
Okay, go on.
Let's find
So
out.
go on, what film news have we got? Give me the piece before I have to review the next film real quick. It's going to be Sauvage next. That'll be quick.
Sauvage.
I'm supposed to say logged into Skype as well, I'm on BBC in a bit.
Right, Green Book producer sent angry email to writer to criticise the Best Picture winner.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also Nick Vallelonga, who is, I think he's
Vallelonga, the son, isn't he?
He's the son, and he's a producer, and he's written the screenplay. He said that Dr. Shirley's family didn't want any part of it.
No, I actually got that much as well. Yeah, they didn't want any part of it, and then they weren't particularly happy with how he was portrayed.
they've been very critical.
Which, well, yeah, I don't know. So let me talk then really quickly about Sauvage. So I had the pleasure of watching this morning. This is a grim movie.
Great title.
Dark, nihilistic. I mean, obviously the word Sauvage refers to wild. You know,
right, not a fancy perfume.
Not a fancy perfume, nor is it misspelling of sausage. So it is the story of Leo, who is a 22-year-old male prostitute. And he sells his body for cash. He doesn't have much in the way of virtue or shame in that regard. He's kind of upfront and he just does whatever to make ends meet. But he yearns for something more. You know, he yearns for kind of a meaning to his life because he is just existing, going from job to job, as it were, you know, and just in the meanwhile just amusing himself in between. So it's kind of a directionless, aimless existence. He's played by Felix Meritor. Now, Felix Meritor is an actor I know from 120 Beats Per Minute. From last year. And he was really good in that as well. I do think he's a very charismatic young actor, and it shows here because I think he really holds this film together. It's a great performance at the centre from him. The problem is, obviously, it is on his shoulders because the film is so bleak, so abstract, so directionless. It really does follow where he sees himself in the world. And it's not a film that wraps itself up in neat conclusions. It's a lot more sort of true to the reality of the situation than anything else. I really liked it, but by Jove, was I miserable once I finished watching it. I mean, brilliantly written and directed by Camille Vidal-Naquette. Sorry, I mispronounced. I couldn't remember how to pronounce Naquette from it. So Camille Vidal-Naquette. Really well put together film, and I absolutely respect what it's done. But I do say it's a hard watch, you know, because of how abstract, because of how open, because of how, you know, inconclusive it is. It does become a hard watch for that thing. Also, it just the sort of the suffering he imbues his own performance with, again, just a really difficult time. But a great movie, I have to say. So, another piece of film news for me real quick. What do you got?
What have they got? We were just talking about A Quiet Place.
Yes.
John Krasinski is going to return to direct the second one.
I know,
as is Emily Blunt.
So, I mean, because she's still alive.
She's still alive, yeah.
Right,
Spoiler,
okay.
he is not.
It was like a year ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, it was a year ago.
Yeah, so shut up.
Shut up, you got no excuse, man. You just be happy that your year-old horror movie got nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah.
Because, unless you're Jordan Peele, that never happens. But, yeah, also, like...
Oh my God, Us is coming out so soon. But just don't know.
Oh, yes.
It's like March.
I know, can't wait. Can't wait. End of March, like, I'm so...
Just stay alive.
Should see the American advertising campaign for it, by the way. On the subway, every time you go on steps on the subway, on the back side of the steps, they put one poster, and then another step down, they put the title, and then the next step down, they put another poster, and the posters are the contrasting versions of the family.
Oh, that's
And they've
awesome.
been made to look as nice and as horrifying as possible. And it's absolutely brilliant.
I'm going to look at that.
Yeah, did you look that up? The marketing campaign for it is absolutely terrific. Also, I think there are TV ads and things, although when I was there, they were really leaning heavy on the Oscar campaigning. Like, I'd never witnessed it before, but they really outwardly campaign for Oscars in the US.
Right.
But so yeah, like multi-million-dollar ad slots on NBC purely to appeal to like a couple thousand voters in the world who may be watching the Today Show.
On the off chance.
They just may be watching. But yeah. So go on, anything else real quick in the news?
Rotten Tomatoes are changing the audience rating system. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, how does that work?
So they're not allowed to put any comments on there until the film is out. So it's happened because people are trolling the Captain Marvel page.
So all they can affect is the audience percentage score and nothing else now.
Nothing else.
Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah, which frankly should have happened a long time ago, but it's good that they're doing it.
Personally, I'd like to abolish
what else? Blue Peter Nyong'o is apparently going to be in Bond 25 as well.
Ah, yes, I think I heard about this.
And do you know we're getting that Suicide Squad redo?
Oh, the Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad. It's going to be out to the Will Smith.
Yes, I heard the Will Smith will not be returning because it's cast out on the Margot Robbie reprising her role as well as the Harley Quinn.
She's obviously got whatever this one next year is going to be good. Is that one Birds of Prey?
That one's Birds of Prey.
That one's Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
That's next year.
Yeah. And we've got an Aquaman sequel dated now, haven't we? For
14 years time.
For 2022.
We're gonna wait until we actually have like Atlantis. We're gonna wait for.
I mean, I love the fact that by the time we get an Aquaman 2, Avatar 2 will actually be out.
How mad is that?
Yeah, so weird. And that's going to be in the ocean as well.
Yeah, so that's where we're going to be. Yeah.
Did you see James Cameron's response to Aquaman?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, wasn't it like it's not realistic?
It's like it's not realistic to the physics of being underwater. Like it's a superhero movie, Jim. For fuck's sake.
Yeah, people riding a seahorse.
Yeah, drumming octopus, man. Drumming octopus. Okay, last review of the week.
Okay,
right. This is actually quite a sweet movie. So I just realised we've also accidentally left both LGBT movies to the podcast extras as well. But again, not
we're the problem.
But we are the problem. That's happened accidentally, but yeah, we are the problem. So, Of Love and Law, which is a documentary about a Japanese couple, so a gay married couple who are also lawyers and run a practice together in downtown Osaka. Now, I didn't know this until I started watching this documentary, but Japanese culture does not treat the LGBT people well. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
There are some very strange societal rules in Japan that I did not know about, and this film actually does stop and explain them all to you. Like, for instance, if you are born outside of what is defined as a traditional married familial setup, you are not allowed to have your birth registered. You are treated as a non-person. And this that's an actual thing. That affects things like credit ratings and stuff like that, because your parents weren't married and stuff like that. Your parents got divorced. It's an insane culture. And what you have are these two gay lawyers, I think Kuza and Fumi, and both really just depicted as, it's a profile piece, really. It just follows them and just their general, through the window of two cases that I think are being worked on. So Fumi works on one case, Kuza works on another. And one defends the free speech of an artist who depicts vaginas in her artwork, and it's a really sweet movie, a really sweet, wholesome, and genuinely uplifting movie. because they're very active in their community and they volunteer for everything they can. They took in a foster child. They took in a guardianship of a child, for instance, and then they enroll in the fostership program and start learning about adopting a child of their own kind of thing. And it's just a really sweet story about how these two men just function in this society that has just been built to cast them aside. And it's a really wonderful time. I had a really great time watching this. I came away from it beaming. But, yeah, I can't recommend it high enough. So it's called Of Love and Law.
Sounds good.
Latest film from, I think it's Hakawati. That is out on Fridays, the 1st. I think more or less everything this week, except for Fighting With My Family, has been out on the 1st.
Okay.
So
cool.
So, yeah, that's really it for me this week.
And that is it for me as well.
Okay, in which case, well, I can only take this in one direction. Here it is, your Oscar-winning moment of Cage.
Kingpin knows we're coming. We're going to be outnumbered.
Don't be so sure. You might need these. You think you're the only people who thought to come here?
Hey, fellas.
Is he in black and white?
Where's that wind coming from? We're in a basement.
Wherever I go, the wind follows. And the wind, it smells like rain.